So, on behalf of Dr. Radhakrishna Sahodaya School Complex, I am at STNC of MGM High Secondary School, Bokaro. Welcome Dipti ma'am for the in-house training 3 on this platform for the Sahodaya School Complex, as well as I will welcome all the teacher participant on this third in-house training. Now I hand over this mic to Deepti ma'am for his training session. Over to you, Deepti ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good afternoon and good evening, I can say over here, to all my fellow teachers, educators, school leaders, and administrators who have joined me today on this digital platform for Sahodaya in-house training program on the topic mental health and well-being. I am Dipti Nisanka, your resource person for today. I would begin by quoting one of my favorite dialogues of Harry Potter. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of time, if only one remembers to switch on the light. And that light, my dear teachers, my dear friends, is a healthy and sound mind. Now, I just wanted to go for the PPT. Well, mindfulness is a secret of effective self care. It augments the mental well being and reduces the mental illness. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive, not where you are growing, right? Let us concentrate actually what mental health mean. What is mental health? Though we do not pay such attention on mental health, but it is as important as our physical health. Mental health refers to a state of well-being where people can meet their learning potential, cope up with the normal stresses, and connect it to the community and friends, as well as some relatives we can mention over here. Looking after the mental health can preserve a person's ability to enjoy life. Doing this involves reaching a balance between life activities, responsibilities, and efforts to achieve psychological resilience. There are many conditions in our day to day life we used to go through, right? The conditions such as stress, depression, sadness, loneliness, and anxiety can all adversely affect the mental health and disrupt a person's routine. Well, we all know about it. Our brain consists of three different parts, and the three different parts are like cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. And we all know that the brain is the boss of our body, it rules our body, right? As I have said, our brain is the master organ of body. So it is very important for everyone to take proper care of our mental health, no matter whether the person is a child or an adult or an old man or woman. Being healthy is a way of life. It's not just about what you feed to your body. It's not about what you feed to your mind and social environment you keep. Actually, we generally used to, when we used to plant a sapling, it is just in a very beginning state, right? We could not be able to see any such kind of flowers or the birds, or I can say any such kind of fruit in it. Like the same way, without brain, our body is nothing. The root of all health is the brain. The trunk of it is emotions. There are many emotions. We're going to talk about these emotions later on in a video also, and at the same time about all these emotions what we used to face in our day-to-day life. The branches and the leaves are the body, and the flower of the health blooms when all the parts of the body work together, cooperate each other, right? As per the data we understood about the mental health right now, let us concentrate about the data in India, need not to go to worldwide, but yes, in India. The data says in India, out of every children, one is suffering from mental health problems. And believe me, it's a very serious issue. But unfortunately, only less than 1% get medical support. And what is the reason behind this? Why does it happen? The reason behind this is we do not take mental health seriously. Sometimes we ignore it. Sometimes we do not even show such much of concern or show such kind of attention towards this mental health issues. About half of mental disorders begin before the age of 14, and around 20% of world's children and adolescents are estimated to have a mental disorder or problems, with similar types of disorder being reported across the cultures. People tend to think that yes, mental disorder is as something that happens to someone else. It doesn't affect me. I'm not an insane person. There are multiple aspects of mental health, from the serious disorders like schizophrenia, then after bipolar disorders, or to anxiety, mind depression, very very mild depression. We couldn't able to recognize it whether we are suffering from depression or not. We couldn't even understand whether the front person is going through such condition or not. Eating disorders, sometimes we used to think about it much when it comes to our children, that why they are not taking proper food, right? Or sometimes it's like they want more food as compared to their regular life, and this might cause the mental disorder or substance abuse. Young people often refuse to admit that yes, they are suffering from any such kind of mental disorder or not. They even if they understood that yes, they are suffering, still they used to refuse. They do not want to look for any help, partly due to insufficient of knowledge we can consider, or partly because of the fear of negative reaction from their peers. We used to, obviously we are living in a society, somehow the other the reaction of society affects us a lot, but sometimes we have to ignore the reactions when it comes for our own mental health, when it comes for our health and our family members, or the person who are very close to us. Well, here I just wanted to tell you one thing, that mental health sometimes used to neglected and taken casually, not only by others but also by us, and we fail to understand it. It often transforms into other serious matters. We didn't even think about the matter, that kind of serious problems it can cause, and that have the potential to wreak havoc in our lives. Let us see a video that how small things related to mental health assume big problems or great proportions.
Man, when I look at that kid, it's hard to believe that that was actually me. I definitely struggled through that time. I was so angry, felt so alone. It was so hard to make friends. But to tell you the truth, I probably wasn't much fun to be around. I definitely found schoolwork so much harder than most people. Every year I struggled and it just felt like it was harder and harder to keep up. There were people, they tried to reach out to me, but I wasn't very nice to them. I just lost control. I just felt so isolated. Yeah, things started to change when I hit year 5. You know, my teacher, she just made such a difference. I knew she liked me even though she pulled me up when I did something wrong. She was always happy towards me and smiling and showed an interest in me. She definitely noticed that I needed something extra than the other kids. So, my teacher ended up calling my parents. She got us booked in with the counsellor, who really listened and got my parents and teacher to understand what was going on with me. Yeah, I don't know what would have happened if my teacher hadn't stepped in when she did. The counsellor was cool. She gave my parents advice on how to help me and spend more time with me and things like that. She was also just a massive help for me too. I was calmer, and hey, I even made some friends. She gave me some ideas on how to manage my feelings and just make better choices. And it worked. It was such a battle up to that point, and things they could have turned out very differently if it wasn't for my teacher. What changed things was someone noticing and taking that extra step to find the right help for me.
Well, what you have understood from this video, I think you might be going to agree with me that you will maybe going to agree with me that of course sometimes we also need such kind of teacher in our lives, right? We also need such kind of counselor in our life when we used to feel like uh, everything has been end up. And believe me, it's not like it is happening only with us. Sometimes it happens with our children too. Our children need a kind of counselor, and for that particular thing we have to create such environment. We have to create such kind of surrounding for them that they should come to us, they should share their views with us. Though as per CBSE, of course, there are counselors in our school, and what I believe personal is the teacher is the best counselor, because sometimes children which they do not share with their parents, children which they do not share with their friends, they come to us and they share with us. They believe that yes, she or he is the one who is going to help us out. And that moment, my dear friends, we feel like very happy that yes, we have created certain environment that our children feel happy as well as feel such comfort to come around us and to talk to us. Sometimes we have to keep the subjective matter aside. Sometimes we have to communicate with them. Sometimes we have to understand their feelings. We have to understand what our children wanted to convey to us, what they wanted to tell us. And that moment when you created such moment, understand me and believe me, that moment they will definitely going to improve in their lives. As we have seen in the same video that what are the signs of mental illness in children as well as in adults. The first one, losing interest in daily activities, couldn't be able to pay attention in the studies, they do not wanted to meet with their friends, do not wanted to talk to anyone, sitting isolatedly in a corner of their classroom. Though in a crowd also they feel themselves very lonely, that nobody is their friend. They feel like they shouldn't have to talk to anyone. Either get overwhelmed easier. Sometimes they feel like frustrated too. Do not feel like socializing that much anymore. Just now I have told you, I have mentioned you over here that yes, they do not wanted to talk to anyone, not even with their parents, not even with the teachers, and not even with their classmates. They do not have consistent sleep schedule. We all know about it that yes, sleeping is very much necessary to keeping ourselves healthy. Well, I believe in one line that yes, healthy doesn't mean that you are physically fit and fine. No, healthy means you should have to mentally fit, physically fit, at the same time emotionally too fit. Then you can consider yourself that yes, of course, you are a very fit and fine person, right? So for these particular thing, we must have to take proper care of the sleeping schedule too. Sometimes we might have observed in our children that in the classroom itself they feel like sleepy. You just deliver when you used to deliver your lectures or the subjective matters or the topic, at that time they could not be able to pay any attention on you, not in the subject, and their mind has been diverted to somewhere else. They couldn't be able to listen what you're telling, and they used to think something else, right? So why does this happen? The reason behind that they might not have take proper kind of sleep. They might not have take proper kind of food items. Nowadays there are a number of food items children used to like which should be avoided by them. Likewise the junk food items which never gives any such kind of good health to anyone, and always feel like drained in the sense they feel like they couldn't be able to do anything. They feel like nothing can be done by them, and they failure. No matter, either it might be study or it might be any such kind of sport or a just group discussion, or I can say a normal group discussion. They couldn't be able to take part in that particular thing too. And these all are the sign of mental illness. Though we used to observe it, we used to see it in our regular life. Suppose there are 40 to 45 children are there in a class, one or two children used to be there like the same. Sometimes we ignore it, which we shouldn't have to do. And then at that matter, when it comes for the special attention on that particular children, believe me, they will get out of this mental illness, whatever the mental illness is there. Anxiety attacks become more frequent, they get irritated, mentally and emotionally scattered up. As I have told you right now, cannot be able to pay attention on anything, not even a good food item, not even study, not in playing something, or a normal conversation. They do not want to communicate with anyone at that moment, right? So at that moment they used to struggling with impulse control, then after struggling with feel grounded, they actually wanted to do something, but their mental condition do not allow them to do anything, and that is the big issue for them. And what we used to do sometimes when it comes for studies, sometimes when it comes in our view, we used to take care of it, but sometimes for completing either the subjective matters, for completing the syllabus, or many more things, we ignore these things. And there it creates a big problem for that particular child. And later on, if you think to do something for that particular child, it's not possible. You couldn't be do anything at that moment. So here, I just wanted to show and wanted to tell you that emotions and feelings, whatever the feelings are there, they resemble a coin as it has two sides. Positive emotions give us strength and confident enough and support us during our difficult times, whatever the time, whatever the situation for us, that doesn't matter for us, because we have the positive emotions, we have the positive vibes, we have the positive thinking capacity to think about that. But certain negative emotions can bring about more challenges in our already troubled life. Let us understand our emotions is a key component. How comes the emotion is a key component of mental health? Let us see the next video to learn about more emotions.
What are emotions and how do they work? Emotions are often feared and avoided because they are so painful. So why focus on emotions? Because emotions give you important information and tell you whether things are going your way. Emotions help you to survive by providing an efficient, automatic way of responding rapidly to important situations. Emotions help you to relate to other people and the expectations and demands of life. Emotions tell you what you need. When you know what you need, you can take action to meet those needs. Emotions also communicate what you feel. You learn your emotional reactions through experience. All your negative experiences can turn into a big, black, and scary feeling inside. You learned many of your emotional reactions long ago. Your black shadow will therefore sometimes resemble a person who hurt you in the past. But your emotional experience and reactions can always be changed or altered. First, you need to know something about what your emotions are. You have different basic emotions, some of which arouse you and some that calm you down. These are shame, fear, sadness, anger, disgust, happiness, and surprise or interest. You have more unpleasant emotions than pleasant ones. That means you often suffer quite a lot, but that's because the unpleasant emotions help you survive. Feelings also tend to be more unpleasant if you fight them. If you allow them to be there, they become less unpleasant. You can experience and express many different feelings, like feeling hopeless, irritated, anxious, excited, lonely, embarrassed, suspicious, content, and so on. These feelings all arise from your basic emotions. For instance, feeling suspicious springs from fear, and feeling lonely springs from sadness. And then it gets complicated. Emotions do not always provide you and your surroundings with good information. Sometimes you fake emotions to get what you want. At other times, you cover up your real emotions with other emotions. If you act like this, when you really feel like this, and your need is compassion and comfort, You will instead drive people away. If you or someone around you is supportive, patient, and curious enough to try to understand you, you might realize that you are sad and then get what you need to heal your painful emotion. At other times again, your real emotions are messed up and make a lot of trouble for you. If you were scared a lot when you were a child, you might grow up having a core feeling of being afraid. You might overprotect yourself so that no one can hurt you ever again. Everyone who was hurt badly as a child has a deep need to feel safe and a desire for someone to love them and connect with them, and heavy protection doesn't give you this. You can tell or show someone you trust that you are afraid. You can welcome the feeling of being afraid and listen to it, instead of ignoring it and covering it up. And the fear will then become more manageable. You can also change fear by means of self-compassion and assertive anger. You can stand up for yourself without driving people away. You can handle criticism, even if it hurts. You can take the chance and let people in, even if you're afraid of getting hurt again. You feel and function better when you're aware of and deal with your real emotions, even if they're painful. Your real emotions help you to get what you really need, both from yourself and others. You feel and function better when your real emotions are fresh and new, instead of stuck old feelings. You can trust your emotions if doing so gives you what you need. Stuck and misguiding emotions can change if you learn to attend to your emotions, are curious and patient with your own emotions, talk about and show your real emotions, learn to accept having different emotions, and change emotions with emotions. And all of this is easier to do with the empathy and support of another person.
Well, we have seen certain emotions in this particular video, and I think that as I have gone through, when I gone through this video, I have really related myself when I have seen this video. Yes, of course, I too gone through certain kind of emotions, and I think that you might have gone through certain emotions, whatever have been seen in the video or shown in the video, right? So actually, one thing I just wanted to mention over here that I think you will also agree with me that our children relate us much. Our children learn from us much. And sometimes what you do not know about yourself, your children have an idea about it. Sometimes when we enter in the class with a very angry mood, and when they wish us good morning, we in reply, we do not wish them good morning. At that time, you please mark the reaction of your children. They can easily understand that yes, teacher is in very angry mood today, and we should not talk much. And as you get inside the class with a happy smiling in your face, and when they see you with a very happy smiling face, at that moment they feel a kind of what I will say comfort level, as well as at the same time they feel a kind of happiness in their face, and they come to you and they tell you that ma'am, you wore a very nice sari today, ma'am, you're looking beautiful today, or sir, you're looking very smart today. That means they feel at that moment that yes, they have already come or came in certain environment, in certain surrounding where they feel very safe for themselves. And my dear teachers, as well as colleagues, Do remember whatever the problem will be and whatever the problem is, it always comes with a solution. I think the solution have made first and then after the problem came. And the same thing we have to make our children understand that when they stuck up with any such kind of problem, they have to find out the solution. They have to go for the solution. They have to understand that yes, this will not going to damage them, this will not going to destroy them, this will not going to affect them at all. And they are the one, and they are the only one who can come up with the solution. We have to sometimes, as I have told you earlier also, that we are not agreeing, or we do not agree that yes, we are in a very sad mood. If somebody comes to us and they tell us बहुत sad हो ना आज, we feel like no, we are okay. But it's okay if you're sad, then it's okay. This is an emotion, this is an emotion, and of course we have the emotion. We are a very normal human being, we have the emotions. And the same thing we have to make our children understand that if you or he or she is suffering from mental health issues, it's okay. Of Or if he or she is suffering with any such kind of certain uh, sleeping disorder or anxiety issue, it's fine. We have to make them understand that mental health is important. It's not a sign of weakness. Mental health is something that everyone has. Not only you, not only me. Everyone is having. It's not something that is shameful. Mental health is a kind of thing that sometimes we need to look after. It's not the thing that we have to hide. It's not the thing that we have to feel ashamed of to share with anyone, right? Now let us discuss about what are the reason or causes of mental health or mental health disorder in students. There are certain causes. Likewise, the genetic cause, poor nutrition, as I have told you right now, that our children are nowadays children are paying much attention as well as interest at the same time for eating all this kind of unhealthy food items. I have seen certain children in my life, they do not want to eat the vegetables. They do not want to go for any such kind of good, healthy food items. But at the same time, as per the norms of CBSE or the rules of CBSE, our schools has been taken proper care of all this kind of things. I have seen in our school and some of the schools, they have kept a kind of lunch break or the tiffin break schedule. And it's very good thing that yes, they have to bring all these kind of things so that they can get proper amount of nutrients or nutrients, right? So let us discuss about the reasons of the mental health disorder in students. The genetic cause, poor nutrition, accidents, sometimes some accidents, accident in the sense, some incident they couldn't be able to forget. It just keep their mind disturbed throughout the time. They continuously keep on paying attention on that particular thing. Unhealthy surrounding, right? If continuously our children, if there is chaos in the family, quarreling in the family continuously going on, the children cannot be pay attention in any such kind of things. It really pays a very bad impact in their mental issue, mental health. The same thing, the exam fear. Nowadays the exams are coming. Exam fear, of course, it's a big kind of fear for children. I have seen some of the children in board examination when they used to see the maths question paper, their hands and the foot used to be, if curled up. They couldn't be able to attempt also. And for that particular thing, we have reading. many such kind of articles in the newspapers and many such kind of news in the newspapers that some child has attempted some kind of suicidal things. So we are thinking that yes, what happened to the child? Why does the child has done so? But the reason behind that particular thing, we couldn't be able to understand. We couldn't be able to identify also at the same time. What is the need and emergency of this mental health? Is it necessary? Is it like the same way? Does it play a very important role in our lives? Yes, of course. It does play a very important role in our life. Performance of the students in school is a direct indication of their mental health and well-being. Sound mental health supports the student to do better in academically as well as co-curricular activities. Problems in activities and behaviors can addressed by providing mental health support. As we have already discussed in India, the issue, how comes it has been taken a very drastic issue. One fifth of students get mental health concern due to the following things, that is stress, anxiety, bullying, learning disabilities, substance abuse. And it is important to eradicate stigma around the mental health corners and provide students with care and support. Believe me, environment plays a very important role for the mental health. So somehow the other, of course, altogether, we have to understand that a person should have to be mentally, physically, and emotionally fit. Then only we can consider the person is a very healthy person. How can a teacher use to, yes, of course, we all are the facilitators, we all are the educators and teachers, proud teachers, I can say over here. How can we ensure support to the students? How and we are the one who can do it. We have to build a kind of rapport among the children. I have already mentioned over here that we have to create a kind of surrounding around us, that the child should feel comfort around us, the child should come to us, the child should share whatever the problems, no matter it may be. They come to us, they tell it very confidently, they tell us very, what I will say, uh, in a very fearless way. So we must allow the student to be comfortable around us, no matter whether it will be verbal or non-verbal communication, but it will going to work best. We have to identify the problems. Instead, sometimes we do not listen the problem of the child. We do not allow them to speak. A good listener can be a good speaker. And I believe in this quote. We must have to understand the problem of the child. Before understanding, we must have to identify the problem, whether the child is suffering with any such kind of mental issue or not, whether the child is going through with any such kind of mental issue or not. We have to listen them very, very patiently, because sometimes before listening, if you will react, whatever the things are there in the brain of the child, he or she could not be able to share with you, he or she could not able to convey to you. And half communication is very dangerous. The communication need to be complete at the same time. We have to create a goal to facilitate the positive change in them, the brainstorm alternative together, then motivate to the child to show positive change. And believe me, if you will motivate them continuously, one day or after, they will definitely going to show such kind of changes in them. And that day we feel like very proud that yes, we have done it. We have to encourage the unmasked expression of the emotions, having an open common conversation with the child. Whatever the conversation should be there, that doesn't matter. We should not have to judgmental before telling. If something is there in your brain, then please voice it out. Understand what the child wanted to convey to you. Don't be very judgmental when you're dealing with the child. Ensure complete confidentially going by the dictum. Whatever you say to me, we must have to make the child think that whatever he or she will going to share with me, I'll going to help you out. And the child have to think like that way. Then only he will come to you. Instead of thinking that if I will share the thing with my teacher, it's not like that my teacher will make me put in a danger. No, my teacher will never going to do that. And that thinking should be inculcated in the child. Then only the child will going to come to you. The child will share their views in front of you without thinking whatever the view it may be. Now, the special role of the educators, of course, maintaining the record of the students under supervision. Sometimes it might be washed out from our brain. For that particular thing, we have to maintain a kind of record that yes, whether the child has come to us, whatever the problems, and so that we can also easily understand whether the child has shown any such kind of positive changes in them, or whether in him or her, or any such kind of negative change in her or him either. Or we can understand easily that yes, is there any such kind of effect of our words has been work on the child's brain or not, right? Individualized examination education plan, behavior management plan, keeping in touch with the parents as well as the students. So this is very important, I must mention over there. Whatever is happening in the school, inside the school boundaries only, inside the school campus only. And whatever is happening outside of the school, the parents have a better idea about it. So the parents, teacher, as well as the children or the child, it's a kind of triangular form. And the triangle should be complete. Otherwise, you cannot be measure your complete 180 degree of angle. We should have to work as a team. I mean to say, suppose I'm the class teacher and someone else is the subject teacher. It's not necessary for the child that as he has behaved in my class, the same way he'll going to behave in the other teacher's class. So we have to keep a kind of communication, good communication in between us. No communication gap should be there. If it will occur, then it will be very hard for us to make the child bring in a very positive sign. We should have to create awareness about various learning difficulties. And of course, the pedagogical change required for the children with different abilities. Now, what all are the mental tips for the mental health? In between that, I just wanted to mention one more point. What we can do over there, sometimes we can create or we can do a kind of role play inside our class so that they'll also feel a kind of secure environment or secure surrounding. We have to create such environment and living conditions that can contribute a good mental health and well-being for the children. We must have to understand, we must have to make them understand that to get some kind of respect, we must have to pay some kind of respect to others. We should treat others with dignity, we should treat others with respect, we should provide emotional support and connect with people to support. It is also very important for us, right? It's not like only one side communication is there. No, not like that way. We should have to take the help. At the same time, we should have to provide the help too. Now, let us understand there are certain tips for the mental health and well-being. Talk about your feelings. We have already discussed. It's a very brief, short method of understanding the things. We should have to talk about your our feelings. We have gone through in the video, there are a number of feelings, right? A number of emotions. Like if you're sad, fine enough, you convey that you're sad. If you're very happy, fine, you tell others and spread happiness around others. If you're feeling like loss, if you're feeling like do not want to communicate with anyone, it's okay. At least you share with your at least you share your feelings with others, your friends, your family members, your teachers, and then only you will be free from this mental health disorder. Accept who you are, right? If a child is not at all good in studies, he or she might be very good in any such kind of co-curricular activities. So fine enough. If you could not be cope up with the studies, whatever the co-curricular activity or extra activity you are having, you can choose your profession on that particular thing. In NEP 2020, we have the new education policy also. It has been made in such a way only that we could easily choose our profession, our passion as our profession, right? Eat well, drink sufficient of water. This is very important. Eating a good food habit, eating good food is a very necessary thing to stay mentally as well as physically fit. Obviously, when it comes for nutrients, water and roughness is also equally play very important role over there. We should have to care for others. We have to show such kind of care for others. Of course, take a break. If you are feeling like you need a break, take a break. It applies for everyone, not only for the children, but also for us. Sometimes we feel like we do not want to talk anything. We feel like we do not want to do anything. At that time, take a break. Take a break does not mean that you couldn't be able to share your feelings. Take a break does not mean that you avoid all this kind of food items or water and communication things. No. Take a break in the sense, keep active yourself and do what you like to do. Sometimes, if you, everyone is having a kind of hobby, right? What I love to do, I love to sing. When I feel like nothing is going to work, I sit very quietly and listening the song. The same way, if you love to dance, you can go for that one. If you feel like, yes, of course, I need a kind of break and I have to go for shopping, please go for it. If you think like I need a break, I wanted to talk to my friends and play around or anything you wanted to do, but do not just keep yourself alone inside the room. It will be very dangerous. It will going to give a very big problem later on. Keep active, of course, keeping yourself active. Do something that you are good at. I have already mentioned right now, whatever you love to do, you do that one for a certain time period, or you can divert your mind from the heavy workload also, right? Keep in touch with people. This is very necessary. Sometimes when you feel like you do not want to talk with anyone, and when you see a very close friend of yours has arrived to your home, and at that time you feel like very happy, and whatever the hell problems are there, you used to forget all about that. And for that particular thing, communication is very important. Earlier, the letter system has been there, but nowadays there are n number of communication systems are there, right? We the science has developed in such a way that whenever whosoever we wanted to talk with or we want to talk with, we can talk with them very frequently without any such kind of network issue, just because of many things. And for that particular thing, you need to talk with others, you need to share your feelings with others, you need to communicate with others. need not to hide anything. And all these things we have to inculcate in our children's brain. We have to make our children understand all about these things. So, for that particular thing, take at least 5 minutes before you enter in the class. That means once you have got inside the class, take just 5 minutes and communicate with them. And one day will come, they're going to come to you and they're going to share their views with you that, ma'am, one day it happens, no? One day you have done so and so work for me, and till now I have not forgotten it. In that time we might have forgot about the thing, but yes, it has played a very important role in that particular child's mind. The child will never going to forget us for that particular kind act. So as we wind up, I would extend my gratitude to President Radhakrishnan Sahodia, Mr. A.S. Gangwar sir, Vice President, my mentor, Mr. Somen Chakravarti sir, Secretary, Mr. Patra sir, Sister Kamla Paul Bihari, District DTC Bokaro, Prince DTC Reverend Father Rezi Wagis sir, Principal Sree Ayyappa Public School, Mrs. P. Sailaja ma'am, Director Sree Ayyappa Public School, Dr. S. Mahapatra sir, the entire technical team behind this training program, Amit Kumar Singh sir, STNC MGM Higher Secondary School, Vinay Sital sir, Technical Head, Sanjay Kumar Senapati sir, STNC Holy Cross sir, Holy Cross School, and a big thank you to all my friends, to all my teachers, and to all my friends, I can say, for hearing me out patiently. Signing off as your RP, I, Dipti, wish you a great day ahead and happy learning, everyone.
Thank you, Dipti ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So, ma'am, you may leave now.
Okay, sir.
So, I request all the principal, teachers to kindly leave the meeting. I have already shared the link in the STNC group from where you can mark your attendance. Thanks a lot for patiently listening to this training.